Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be just a little play around with products and you'll watch me do my face. So let's start off with these Nip and Fab glycolic pads. I've recently gotten into them actually, I quite like them. I do have another large container. This one's just a small travel size, but they're really wonderful to use on the skin. Saturated in product, so it's not a stingy little pot. And yeah, it just literally refreshes, revives and exfoliates any dead skin off your face basically. Perfect way to start your makeup too. Next up, we've got to moisturise our skin, and at the moment I'm using the Origins Plantscription. This is the Power Serum. Absolutely beautiful texture. Literally only need a couple of pumps of this and it does go a very long way. So I squeeze a couple of pumps into the palm of my hand, warm up the product and then apply onto my skin. I literally just keep massaging it in until I know that it's fully absorbed. And then obviously follow through with whatever other products you're using at the moment, and I'm sure you'll see that as it comes. So now that we've serumed, I'm following through with a moisturiser, and here I'm using the Caudalie Vino Sauce, I think it's pronounced. I only need a tiny little bit of this. It's quite a rich cream anyway, so a little bit does go a long way. Same method as I've done with the serum, massage it into the tips of my fingers and then press and pat onto the skin and literally just let that soak in. So massage as long as you feel you need to. It's a good way to keep the circulation in your face also alive and kicking, I guess, really. Don't forget that neck as well, you know. So once all that's sunk in, we then go on to priming, and here I'm using the YSL Touche Eclat Blur Primer. It's got like gold freckles in there, which is really lovely if you want that dewy illuminating finish on the skin. So what I do is I take a couple of pumps of that, same process as we done with the moisturiser and the serum, and literally just put that into the areas that I want to focus on, which is primarily over the cheeks and on my forehead. I am a combination skin person, so my T-zone tends to get a little bit oilier, I suppose, or greasier than the rest of my face. So I just want to concentrate that on that particular area for now. Not to forget the wonderful eye cream. A lot of people tend to forget about the eye area, but here I'm using the Balance Me Wonder Eye Cream. Literally need a tiny little blob, tip of your finger, pat them together and then dab around the eye area. I tend to go over the lid as well, just because, well, why not? It's hydration, isn't it? So just ensure that the product has sunk all the way into the skin, and then you should be ready to move on to the next step. So now we move on to foundation, and my winter foundation is the Clinique Beyond Perfecting foundation and concealer, and I'm using colour Neutral 9. At the moment it is a tiny bit light for me, only because I've been using or trying out should I say, the Saint Tropez Spray Purity Tanning Mist. So my face has gone a little bit warmer, but this usually for me is my winter shade. And here I just use the doe foot applicator to basically drop the product onto my skin on all the areas that I want to particularly cover. Don't worry, it will all blend in afterwards, but at first it just looks a tiny bit scary. And then using my Real Techniques brush, although this is the cheek brush, I actually like it for the application of foundation. I literally just blend and buff all over the skin. And then I literally just use a beauty blender. This is my Dior one. As you can tell, it's very well loved and used. It's already got product on it. I literally just go over the foundation to make sure that 1, it's sat where it needs to, and 2, it just helps blend out any areas where you might get brush strokes that still remain on the skin. It's just nice to help smooth them out. Also running down a little bit of the product onto my neck as well, so that we have an even finish. We don't like the divide on the skin. So moving on to concealer, this is the MAC Duo. So it has a peachy shade and a yellow corrector shade. I use the peachy shade under my eyes because I do have a considerable amount of darkness. But then I also counteract it with a couple of drops of the yellow as well, because it helps brighten the skin. And basically I just apply it on all the areas that I want a little bit of light to bounce on. Not done perfectly, not going anywhere, but just figured I'd show you guys where I pop my concealer, I guess. Here you'll see me just applying a couple of drops of the yellow and side-minding my own business because the phone rang. How rude. Anyway, let's get back to the makeup. And now that the concealer's been done, I'm going to take my Secret Brightening Powder by Laura Mercier just to pop under the eyes, basically to help set the product and also just to give me a little bit more of a brighter eye finish. Only need a little bit with this product, to be honest. A little bit does go a long way. So what I do is I take my little Real Techniques mini sponge, dab a little bit into the powder, and then literally pat under the eye. It looks a bit crazy at first, but once the oils on my skin have drunk up the product, it doesn't look so prominent, so don't be scared. Couldn't find my Laura Mercier powder, so you'll see me rummaging around here for a little bit, just trying to locate it. Currently having a bit of a makeup clear out, so just reorganising where all my bits and pieces should go. I think I found it now. Here we go. So I take the Laura Mercier powder and I use the shade Classic Beige. I've been using this powder for maybe about 10 years or so. I was first introduced to the brand when I worked in Harvey Nichols 100 years ago, what feels like, and I loved it. So what I do is I take any brush. Here I'm using the Bare Essentials face brush, and I literally pat a bit of the product onto the brush and then sweep over the skin. It helps take away any shine, helps even out any of the other products that I've had on there, and it helps prepare my skin for powder products, such as blusher, highlighter, that kind of stuff. So I literally just sweep it all over the skin. So once all that's done, I take an eyeshadow brush, and I'm using here my Trish McAvoy custom palette, and I'm picking up the shades that I'm pointing at. So basically it's kind of like a bricky red and a warmish brown, and literally just applying it on the corner of my eye and blending. Nothing fancy, just putting a bit of colour on the lids, and I'm literally just working this product. I haven't double dabbed, so you can see it's very pigmented, and all you need is a very, very small amount. I'm just going back in and working the product. So we're almost there, and I then pick up my Becca highlighter. This is in the shade Moonlight. It's very well loved. I do use it pretty much every day, or at least every time I've put makeup on my skin. And as you can see, I've nearly hit pan on this. This is my second one. I pick up a small detailing brush and literally pop a tiny bit on my tear duct, or in the corner of my eye should I say, and I literally just work that product in. Really does open and brighten your eyes though. A lot of people find this a little bit weird when I do it, but because I've gotten so used to doing it, I can literally do it with my eyes closed, as the phrase goes. Here I'm using my Clarins Kohl eyeliner. This was a limited Christmas edition, but I had a backup one, so as you can see I've nearly worked my way through it. Black eyeliner on me because I've got really big eyes. It doesn't make my eyes look smaller, which is good. So I tend to pretty much reach for it every time I'm doing my face. And then you'll see me here following up with a mascara of choice, which today I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Lashes. It's my first time using this and I actually quite like it. I think until I get a few uses out of it, it'll be hard to give a proper review, but the wand is lovely, carries a lot of product, not too much that it looks excessive, but it does filter through your lashes really nicely, and it doesn't clump, which for me is a pet peeve and probably what puts me off using mascara sometimes. But with this one here, I found it actually really easy to work with, and yeah, you can see me combing through my lashes. It's adding a little bit of length to it, but I think for me it's more about the volume. My eyebrows, which need doing, so don't judge, I'm aware, are quite sparse, and the same goes for my lashes, but a really good mascara tends to elevate them to another level. So then I take my Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. This I think was also the first time I'm using this one. Usually I use the Benefit Ready Set Brow. Such a wonderful little brush. If every mascara brush was made in the same way, brilliant. It literally just coats through your lashes really easily, doesn't take a lot to work through it. And yes, my brows do really need doing after watching this, but hey ho. I'm growing them out at the moment, you know, winter season and all that, just trying to get a new shape in. And then lastly, I'm finishing off with my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Lips. This one is in the shade Showgirl, and I didn't realise how pigmented this product was, but it's so lovely to use. Not drying whatsoever, and it literally packed a punch. Pigment is just stunning. It's kind of like a taupey pink, not too pinkish, more on the reddish side in fact, but I think it's actually a really nice autumnal shade. And here you'll see me just filling my lips in, packing that colour. My final step to it was to add a tiny bit of shine with my Fenty Gloss Bomb lipstick. Look at that sheen. Literally one little application. This product is just to die for. Rihanna, you smashed it out of the park with this product. Look at that glaze. And then just to finish off, I've picked up a brush to my highlighting brush with my Becca highlighter again, just to add a little bit of sheen to the skin. Look at that pop. Woo! Yes, get it girl. And I'm just finishing it off on the other side as well. That's what I love about this highlighter. A little bit does go a very long way and extremely buildable, so if you really want to shine like a diamond, keep on adding it. I mean, look at that beam. What a product, honestly, absolutely phenomenal. And then lastly, just to finish off with a pop of colour, this is my Charlotte Tilbury Blush and Glow. Picked up that pink on a different brush. It's a very strong blusher, and I realised that afterwards. But hey, guess what, we're playing with makeup, so why not? And it just adds a really lovely flush of colour onto the skin for that rosy glow. I think I noticed just how much it was here, so I needed to blend it out. So sometimes it's nice to do that just with a brush that has no product on it, and it helps just to even it out a little bit. And then to finish off, a little bit of the Urban Decay All Night Spray, and we're done. So that's the end of this look. I've had fun playing with products, I've had fun playing with makeup, as I always do. Do follow, subscribe, comment, like, and leave me your suggestions for any other videos you'd like to see below. Take care, see you soon.